Good morning. This is morning coffee, and one of the reasons that I enjoy doing these morning coffees is it allows me an opportunity to express myself. Um, and it really gives me hope, because to be honest, I sit back and I think that a lot of people don't watch these now. And it seems like nothing really becomes of value until you leave the planet. When you make your transition, then you become a little bit more important. And it's so funny because I often think about my death, and I often think about how I'm going to die or when I'm going to die, and I think it's great that I don't know any of that, so I can think about it. And I do know one thing: I want my funeral to be one where people are. And at first, I was going to leave this in my will, how I wanted it done. But if I leave it on morning coffee, at least the people will be challenged to at least try and meet what I asked for halfway. Um, because it will be in video form. And one thing about this new technology in Facebook is whatever you do on Facebook, it's like an imprint. It's there. Uh, it's there pretty much for life unless they tear it down, I guess. So, this is my homegoing service that I want to talk about. And I don't even know how I ended up going in this direction because I was really going to talk about being grateful and, all that kind of stuff. But I am grateful. So because I am grateful, I will talk about this. I want a homegoing service where, first of all, I hope that it's crowded. But I hope that it's crowded with people who have allowed me, I think this is going to touch me, who have allowed me the privilege and honor to serve in their life. Service is so important to me. It's extremely important. I don't think I could actually live and be alive without performing some act of service, getting out of myself so that I can be of some help to somebody else. I think that's the legacy of what I want my life to be. It doesn't necessarily mean, as much as I want to write a book, as much as I want to, go back to school and get my doctorate, as much as I even want to be on TV, as much as I want to be an actor. Many of you probably don't know that I like doing that. As much as I want to write one of my plays and get it produced, as much as I want all that, as much as I may even, desire secretly to have fame and fortune, but not at a level to where I am obnoxious about it. As much as I want to do and aspire all that, I can honestly say that when I get up and God wakes me up in the morning, it means a lot to me to be in service. And that's the legacy. I think I think I don't want my living to be in vain. I think that, and a lot of times we talk about the negative, things that we have done in our lives. And sure, I can give you a drama log. I can give you a trauma log. I can give you all of that. But that, when it's time for me to go home, that doesn't need to be following me. Because, things that are done in the dark are always exposed and brought to light. But, at the end of the day and in the beginning of the morning, it's not my first thought. Well, it depends on, which sin I'm caught up in. Don't let me lie. But honestly, I just want a great homegoing. I want folks to be shouting, I want them to tear the place up. I want there to be lots of singing. I really particularly want James Hall Worship and Praise. I want them to sing, a song or two. I would love for Ricky Dillard and New G to do a song or two. That may be asking a very lot, but it's okay for me to want these things. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get them, but it's what I want. And if not, give me a good replica thereof. And I want folks, to, how they'll give everyone those 2-minute conversations. Don't do that. Don't do no 2-minute conversation. In fact, I may even do one of these videos where, they play a video of me talking to y'all, saying, okay, now this is, and what I would probably say is something like this. God has given me a very rich life. In the latter part of my life, I would say, when I turned 26 is when I really started to live. Because prior to being 26, my life, had just been just eventful. But it had been so eventful that it became uneventful. Because at the end of the road, for me, it was all about sex, drugs, rock and roll, and drugs. And drugs, and drugs, and drugs. So I did not see the light at the end of the tunnel. I did not see that I was going to go back to school. I did not see that I was going to end up on dialysis. I did not know that I would be living on dialysis past the time that the doctor said that I would live on dialysis. I did not know that I would be working in a career job to where, I am not only career, but I'm becoming an expert in the field, that I serve. And that not only having a master's degree, has given me an opportunity to experience, my intellectual side, but it also, has given me the credibility, that I need in the industry that which I work. And even more importantly, and the most important thing that I would leave with anyone and that I would say is that I thank God for keeping me clean for coming up on 20 years. That's what I would say. And I would say to the person, you got to pass on what was given to you. And I would definitely say to the person that's definitely thinking that they're in a dark, lonely, isolated, crazy place, I would say to them, get up and show up. You're not going to be able to live your life in a fetus position. You're not going to be able to live your life talking about and blaming and victimizing and demonizing and doing all that traumatic stuff to yourself. The way that you're going to live life is through the help of a loving, caring God who will place the right group of people. I'm talking now. Who will place the right group of people in your life to help you step into place and step into places that will put you in position to be in service to people. And it will take you out of your self-centered self. That's what I want my legacy to be about. Rodney did try and help me. Rodney put his arms around me when nobody else would. Rodney listened to me on the phone at 2 a.m. Rodney didn't keep his word about this, but he kept his word about, about this, which was way more important. Rodney didn't send me them Viagra pills, that I was so desperately in need of. But when I was like, in a destitute place and I needed somebody to talk to at 3, Rodney was there. That's what I'm talking about. That's real stuff. So I don't want my labor to be in vain. So that's the kind of service I want. I want that kind of service. I don't want folks getting up giving 2 minute conversations about nothing. Because really those 2 minute conversations, we could have those, while I'm living. I want them to pour into the service, and then I want them to contribute something. Oftentimes we go to homegoing services and they don't raise, take an offering. I want them to take an offering, and I want them to take that offering. I don't want to give it to me. I don't want to give it to my mother because I have a life insurance policy, and that kind of stuff is already taken care of. I believe in taking care of that stuff while I'm living, so that folks ain't going around scrounging looking for money on how to bury me. I will have integrity in this part of my life. But take up an offering and then donate it to a charity of somebody's choice. I want that kind of legacy, I was thinking of the guy that started Narcotics Anonymous, Jimmy K. I'd done a Wikipedia thing on him, and I looked, and he had something powerful on his tombstone. And it was truly about being in service. It was like, I labored in hell. And I stayed there long enough to understand that living in hell is detriment to my very survival. And God sent some people that have been in hell. And instead of them talking about me or judging me or going, look at him, or, look at how skinny he is, I wonder what's wrong with him, or to them doing that. No, they got inside of hell with me and said, there is a way out. And we're going to help you out of this hell so that you can experience the heaven, the freedom that we're experiencing today. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It don't get no better than that. It don't get no better than that. I have been given a good life. Sure, I have made a lot of mess ups. But those are discounted because I've also had some come-ups. And we need to learn how to celebrate our come-ups. This is Morning Coffee. You best go and have yourself a wonderful day. Peace.